Welcome back to the deep dive, everybody. You know how this works. We grab a stack of sources and we extract the most fascinating nuggets of knowledge. And please, don't forget to like and subscribe to Visions Beyond and tell us in the comments what you want to see us deep dive into next. Now, today we're going to be tackling eczema and psoriasis.
Okay.
Two skin conditions that they can be incredibly frustrating to deal with.
Yeah.
We're going to try to decode their causes, look at different treatment options, and hopefully, by the time we're done with this deep dive, you'll have the knowledge you need to manage these conditions effectively. Our expert here is going to help us navigate this collection of articles and research. We've got 11 conditions that look like psoriasis but aren't, 6 skin conditions commonly misdiagnosed as atopic dermatitis, eczema and psoriasis, a comprehensive guide, eczema versus psoriasis, similarities, contrasts, and treatment, skin diseases, types of symptoms, treatment and prevention, skin disorders, pictures, causes, symptoms, and treatment, and what conditions can be mistaken for psoriasis.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover. Ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right. So it's interesting how eczema and psoriasis, like on the surface, they both kind of look like skin problems, but they have completely different origins.
Right.
And it's super important to understand those differences if you're going to be dealing with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So could you maybe elaborate on those differences for us a little bit?
Sure. So psoriasis is an autoimmune disease, right? So that means that your immune system is attacking healthy skin cells, causing them to rapidly overproduce and leading to those characteristic thick, scaly plaques that you see.
Right.
Eczema, though, is it's more multifaceted.
Okay.
Genetics can play a role where some people inherit these gene mutations that actually weaken their skin's protective barrier. And then environmental factors can come into play, further aggravating that skin and triggering inflammation.
So it's kind of like a recipe where like the genes give you the base ingredients and then the environment is like adding the extra spice to make things a little bit more interesting. And by interesting, I mean itchy and uncomfortable.
Exactly, yeah. You can think of it like that. A faulty skin barrier, whether it's from genetics or environmental damage, will allow irritants and allergens to penetrate more easily, leading to, the inflammation and the itching we see in eczema.
Fascinating. And you know what I've noticed is that even the type of itching you get, can be different between the two.
Right.
Like psoriasis sometimes feels more like a burning sensation.
Yeah.
Whereas eczema can be intensely itchy, like almost unbearable at times.
You're right. That's actually a key distinction between the two, and their itch profiles differ because of those underlying mechanisms we were talking about.
Right.
So in psoriasis, the nerve endings are stimulated directly by the inflammatory response, from the immune system.
Okay.
But with eczema, the itch is caused by a complex interplay of immune cells and inflammatory mediators and just those damaged skin nerves. It's a very complex thing.
Wow. So we've established that eczema and psoriasis are definitely more than just like itchy twins. Yeah. But our sources also highlight how tricky it can be to self-diagnose.
Right.
Because a lot of other skin conditions can look very similar.
Absolutely. Everything from seborrheic dermatitis to ringworm, even skin cancer can present with those, similar symptoms.
Wow.
So it's crucial to consult with a dermatologist to get an accurate diagnosis.
It's almost like you're trying to solve a skin-related mystery.
Right.
And you need a professional detective, in this case a dermatologist,
Exactly.
to crack the case.
Right.
Our sources actually mentioned this one study where a large number of people who self-diagnosed with eczema actually had something called allergic contact dermatitis.
Oh, wow.
Which can be really easily diagnosed and treated with a patch test.
Exactly. And that just highlights how misdiagnosis can lead to ineffective treatment, prolonging a person's discomfort.
Right.
A patch test can pinpoint those specific allergens triggering the reaction and allow for more targeted avoidance and management strategies.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's also worth noting that if you think you have eczema and it's not responding to treatment after a few months, it might be a good idea to consider the possibility of skin lymphoma.
Okay.
And, consult with a doctor.
That's a really good reminder to always seek professional advice when you're dealing with persistent skin problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about treatment, specifically for eczema.
Okay.
A lot of our sources point to moisturizers as the first line of defense.
Yeah.
Is it really that simple?
It might sound simplistic, but moisturizers play a crucial role in managing eczema. Remember, we're talking about that compromised skin barrier, which is a hallmark of eczema.
Right.
And moisturizers work by replenishing and sealing in that moisture, which helps to strengthen that barrier function.
So it's not just about slapping on any old lotion.
Right.
You need to be strategic about the moisturizer you choose.
Exactly. We're aiming for heavy-duty hydration and barrier repair here. Think of thick ointments like petroleum jelly. They act like a protective shield, preventing moisture loss and guarding against those irritants.
Okay, so for, like, intense flare-ups, petroleum jelly is the way to go.
Yeah.
What about creams? I know a lot of people recommend Cerave for eczema. What makes that one so special?
Well, Cerave is a great option because it contains ceramides.
Yep.
And ceramides, you can think of them like the mortar that holds the bricks of your skin barrier together.
Okay.
And in eczema, that mortar's weakened, right?
Hmm.
So ceramides help replenish that mortar, fortifying the skin's defenses.
Interesting. So you got your barrier-boosting ointments, you got your ceramide-rich creams.
Right.
Any other, like, key ingredients that people should look for?
Yeah, humectants, like hyaluronic acid.
Yeah.
They're great at attracting and holding moisture, and they can work together in synergy with those emollients to keep the skin hydrated. So look for products that combine both for, optimal results.
Got it. So we've covered our topical arsenal,
Yeah?
but I'm curious about the role of diet.
Okay.
Like, can what we eat really impact eczema? I've heard anecdotal evidence, but is there any science behind that?
Well, there's definitely a connection between diet and skin health, particularly for eczema. Remember, inflammation is at the root of eczema, right?
Yeah.
And certain foods can either exacerbate or dampen that inflammatory response.
So we're talking about that classic you are what you eat scenario.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's more like your skin reflects what you eat.
Precisely. So, a diet that's rich in anti-inflammatory foods can be really beneficial.
Yeah.
Think omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon.
Right.
Antioxidants, which are abundant in fruits and vegetables, they can help calm that inflammatory cascade within the skin.
Okay, so salmon and blueberries are in.
Yes.
Processed foods, sugary drinks, they're out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Any other, like, dietary considerations for managing eczema?
Well, some individuals find that certain foods trigger their eczema flares.
Oh, okay.
So identifying and avoiding those trigger foods can make a world of difference. Keeping a food diary can help pinpoint those potential culprits. And remember, hydration is key.
Right.
Water is like an internal moisturizer. It helps to keep that skin supple and resilient.
So we're combining a smart skincare routine with dietary tweaks to tackle eczema from both the inside and the out.
Yes, exactly.
Now let's talk about psoriasis for a second.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are interested in natural remedies for this condition.
Right.
What have our sources revealed about that?
Well, natural remedies can be a great form of supportive care for psoriasis, but it's important to remember that they shouldn't replace conventional treatment,
Okay.
especially in moderate to severe cases.
Yeah.
They can, however, help manage symptoms and improve overall skin health. Aloe vera, for instance, is a well-known natural remedy. It's got that soothing gel, boasts those anti-inflammatory properties, and it can help ease redness and irritation.
So slathering on some aloe vera gel after a shower might be a good idea.
Yeah, it can be quite helpful, especially for those localized patches of psoriasis. Another popular natural remedy is turmeric.
Okay.
It contains curcumin, which is a really powerful anti-inflammatory compound. Studies have shown that curcumin can actually modulate the immune response and reduce inflammation associated with psoriasis.
Interesting. So aloe vera for soothing and turmeric for its anti-inflammatory powers.
Yeah.
Any other natural remedies worth exploring for psoriasis?
Well, those oatmeal baths?
Yeah.
That's a classic remedy for soothing irritated skin, including psoriasis. Oats contain these compounds that have anti-inflammatory and moisturizing properties, creating that calming effect on the skin.
Okay.
However, remember, natural doesn't always equal safe. Always consult with your dermatologist before incorporating any new remedy, especially if you have sensitive skin or are using other medications.
Right, because natural remedies can still have, like, interactions or side effects.
Exactly.
So it's always best to err on the side of caution. So we've covered topical treatments and natural remedies for psoriasis.
Yeah.
But what about lifestyle factors?
Okay.
Can things like stress actually impact your skin? It almost sounds too simple.
Well, it might sound simplistic, but stress can absolutely wreak havoc on our skin.
Right?
And this is especially true for those with psoriasis.
Hmm.
So when we're stressed, our body releases this cascade of hormones, including cortisol,
Okay.
and that can disrupt the delicate balance of our immune system, and it can exacerbate inflammation.
So it's like your body's internal stress alarm is going off,
Yeah.
and your skin is bearing the brunt of it.
Exactly. And this stress-induced inflammation can actually trigger or worsen psoriasis flares. And that can create a vicious cycle of stress, leading to skin issues, leading to more stress.
Ugh, it's a cycle I'm all too familiar with. So what can we do to break free from that stress skin spiral?
Besides avoiding stressful situations, which, is often easier said than done,
Yeah, right.
mindfulness practices like meditation and deep breathing exercises can be incredibly effective in calming the nervous system and reducing those stress levels.
Okay.
Regular physical activity is another great way to manage stress. It releases endorphins, which are our natural mood boosters.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of laughter and connecting with loved ones. These simple acts can have a profound impact on our stress levels and, in turn, our skin health.
It's a good reminder that taking care of our mental and emotional well-being is just as important as our physical health, especially when it comes to managing conditions like psoriasis.
Absolutely.
Now, let's kind of delve into the more serious side of psoriasis. For those dealing with severe cases, what are some of the more aggressive treatment options available?
Well, when those topical treatments and lifestyle modifications aren't enough to control severe psoriasis, systemic medications often become necessary.
Okay.
And these medications work by suppressing that overactive immune response that drives psoriasis.
And I've heard of biologics being used for those severe cases. Are those different from traditional systemic medications?
Yes, biologics are a newer class of systemic medications, and they are specifically designed to target very specific pathways within the immune system. They disrupt the inflammatory cascade that fuels psoriasis. They are highly effective, but they also come with potential side effects, so they require careful monitoring.
So it sounds like medical science is making incredible strides in managing severe psoriasis.
Absolutely.
That's encouraging news for people who have been struggling with it for so long.
Yeah. Another option for severe psoriasis is phototherapy,
Okay.
which involves exposing the skin to controlled doses of ultraviolet light. And this treatment can help slow down that rapid growth of skin cells and reduce inflammation.
So a little bit of sunshine can be beneficial, but only in a very specific, controlled setting.
Precisely. Phototherapy is administered under the supervision of a dermatologist to ensure safety and effectiveness. And remember, any new treatment approach should be discussed with your doctor to determine the best course of action for your individual needs.
Great advice. Now, this next bit of information from our research really caught my eye.
Okay.
Apparently, eczema and psoriasis can be linked to other health issues.
Right.
So it's not just about the skin, right?
Yeah.
There's a bigger picture here.
You're absolutely right. It's crucial to understand that eczema and psoriasis, especially psoriasis, are not just isolated conditions. They can be indicators of underlying health issues and can actually even increase your risk of developing other conditions.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of health issues are we talking about here?
Well, for eczema, that constant scratching can lead to skin infections.
Right, because you're breaking down that skin barrier.
Exactly. You're essentially creating an open door for bacteria and other pathogens to invade. And as we discussed, that intense itching can disrupt sleep, which can lead to fatigue and other health complications.
Sleep deprivation can really have a domino effect on our overall well-being, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But it sounds like the connection between psoriasis and other health issues is even more pronounced.
Definitely. Remember, psoriasis is an autoimmune disease, meaning that the immune system is actually attacking the body's own tissues.
Right.
And this dysfunction can extend beyond the skin, increasing the risk of developing other autoimmune disorders.
Like what? Give us the rundown.
Well, one of the most well-known links is with psoriatic arthritis, which is a type of inflammatory arthritis that affects the joints.
Okay.
It can be quite debilitating, causing pain, stiffness, and even joint damage.
So it's not just about the skin looking bad. It can actually impact mobility and quality of life.
Absolutely. But beyond psoriatic arthritis, there's a growing amount of evidence linking psoriasis to cardiovascular disease.
Hold on, heart problems.
Yeah.
How can a skin condition be connected to our cardiovascular health?
It all comes down to inflammation.
Okay.
Chronic inflammation, the kind that drives psoriasis, is also a major contributor to the development of heart disease. So having psoriasis can actually increase your risk for heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular complications.
Wow, this is getting serious. Anything else we should be aware of?
Well, psoriasis has also been linked to metabolic syndrome,
Okay.
which is a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol levels.
Right.
And this combination significantly increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke.
So it's like a domino effect. One health problem can potentially lead to another.
Right.
It sounds like if you have psoriasis, you need to be extra vigilant about your overall health.
Exactly. Regular medical checkups are crucial, and adopting a holistic approach to managing your health is so important. Addressing both those visible skin symptoms and any underlying conditions that might be contributing to them.
So we're not just treating the rash, we're looking at the bigger picture
Yes.
and taking proactive steps to protect our overall well-being. It sounds like a team effort is needed here, involving dermatologists, primary care physicians, maybe even specialists like cardiologists or rheumatologists.
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about collaboration and creating a personalized treatment plan that addresses all aspects of your health.
This is a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly empowering to understand these connections.
Right.
It's like our bodies are sending us signals, and it's up to us to listen and take action.
Absolutely.
Now, for those of you tuning in who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, remember, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more we understand about these conditions, the better equipped we are to manage them effectively.
Absolutely. And don't hesitate to reach out to your healthcare provider if you have any concerns. They are your best resource for personalized guidance and support.
Before we dive into part 2, let's take a moment to just recap what we've learned so far. We've explored those key differences between eczema and psoriasis, uncovered the importance of moisturizers and a healthy diet, and delved into those potential connections between these skin conditions and other health issues.
Right.
We've also learned that managing these conditions is about more than just treating the symptoms.
Yeah.
It's about taking a holistic approach to our health and well-being.
Absolutely. We've only just scratched the surface here.
Right.
If you're ready to continue this skin-deep journey, join us in part 2, where we'll explore even more fascinating insights into the world of eczema and psoriasis.
See you there.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's fascinating how interconnected our bodies are. We've been talking about eczema and psoriasis, but it turns out these conditions can sometimes be a sign of something bigger going on, like beneath the surface.
Yeah, it's like our skin is trying to tell us a story, and we need to pay attention to those clues.
Yeah.
We've touched upon those potential links between psoriasis and other health issues, but let's unpack that a bit further. What are some of the red flags that people should be aware of?
Well, one important aspect to consider is the impact of these conditions on mental health.
Oh, yeah.
The visible nature of these skin conditions, especially during those flare-ups, can lead to self-consciousness, social anxiety, and even depression.
Yeah, it's understandable. Our skin is often the first thing people notice about us,
Right.
and dealing with these chronic skin conditions can be really emotionally challenging.
Exactly. It's crucial to acknowledge the emotional toll that these conditions can take and to seek support if needed. Therapy, support groups, even connecting with others online who understand these challenges can make a world of difference.
Yeah, that's a great reminder that taking care of our mental health is just as important as addressing the physical symptoms. Now, let's shift our focus a little bit and talk about managing eczema in children. I imagine that can be quite a challenge for parents.
It certainly can be, especially since young children might not be able to articulate their discomfort effectively. However, there are many things parents can do to help their little ones find relief.
So what are some practical tips for parents navigating childhood eczema?
Well, first and foremost, establish a gentle skincare routine.
Yeah.
That means using lukewarm water and fragrance-free cleansers, because hot water and harsh chemicals can strip the skin of its natural oils, further aggravating that eczema.
So gentle baths, fragrance-free products, those are key. What about moisturizers?
Yeah.
Are there specific types that work best for children?
Well, it's crucial to moisturize frequently, ideally immediately after bathing to lock in that moisture. Look for thick, creamy emollients that are specifically formulated for sensitive skin.
And I imagine avoiding triggers is paramount when it comes to managing childhood eczema.
Absolutely. Common triggers include things like harsh fabrics, like wool and synthetic materials, certain detergents, dust mites, pet dander, and even certain foods. identifying and eliminating those triggers can significantly reduce those flare-ups.
Yeah, it sounds like a bit of detective work is involved, but it's worth the effort to see your child comfortable and happy. Any other advice for parents facing this challenge?
Well, keep those fingernails trimmed short to minimize damage from scratching, and consider using cool compresses or wet wraps to soothe those itchy areas. And most importantly, remember that you're not alone. There are numerous resources available to support parents, including dermatologists, allergists, and support groups.
Great advice. It's a good reminder that seeking professional guidance and connecting with others who understand these challenges can make the journey a little bit easier.
Now let's circle back to the connection between psoriasis and other autoimmune diseases.
Okay.
We know that psoriasis is a sign that the immune system is kind of misbehaving, but how does that translate to an increased risk for other autoimmune conditions? Well, you see, many autoimmune diseases actually share these common underlying mechanisms, including, genetic predispositions and similar inflammatory pathways. Think of it like a network of interconnected pathways in the body, and when one pathway goes awry, it can disrupt others, increasing that likelihood of developing other autoimmune issues.
So it's like a domino effect within the immune system. One problem can trigger a cascade of others.
Yeah, that's a good way to visualize it. For example, research has shown that people with psoriasis have an increased risk of developing inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. These conditions involve chronic inflammation in the digestive tract, and some of the same immune cells and inflammatory molecules that are implicated in psoriasis are also at play in IBD.
Interesting. So the immune system's attack mode can manifest in different parts of the body, leading to a variety of autoimmune conditions. Are there any other connections that we should be aware of?
Well, there's also evidence suggesting a link between psoriasis and rheumatoid arthritis, another autoimmune disease that causes inflammation and pain in the joints.
Right.
And while the connection is still being studied, some research suggests a possible association between psoriasis and lupus, a complex autoimmune disorder that can affect various organs, including the skin, joints, and kidneys.
Wow. It seems like psoriasis can be a clue to a much larger autoimmune puzzle.
hmm
What's the key takeaway message here? What should people with psoriasis keep in mind?
Well, the most important thing is to be aware of those potential connections and to be proactive about your health.
Right?
Pay attention to any unusual symptoms, even if they seem unrelated to your skin, and don't hesitate to, discuss them with your doctor.
So we're advocating for a holistic approach, considering the whole person and not just the skin condition.
Exactly.
Family history can also play a role.
Right. Absolutely. If you have psoriasis and a family history of autoimmune diseases, it's even more important to be vigilant and discuss your concerns with your healthcare provider. They can help assess your individual risk factors and recommend, appropriate screening or monitoring measures.
This information is incredibly valuable. It's like having a roadmap to navigate the complexities of autoimmune diseases. Now, before we wrap up part 2, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned.
Okay.
We've delved deeper into those potential consequences of eczema and psoriasis, exploring the emotional impact, the challenges of managing childhood eczema, and those intricate links between psoriasis and other autoimmune conditions.
Right.
We've emphasized the importance of a holistic approach, recognizing that these skin conditions are not just superficial issues, but potential indicators of broader health concerns.
Absolutely.
And we've highlighted the power of knowledge and proactive healthcare in managing these conditions effectively.
That's right.
If you're ready to continue this journey of discovery, join us in part 3, where we'll explore even more fascinating insights into the world of eczema and psoriasis.
We look forward to diving deeper with you.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've journeyed through the intricate landscapes of eczema and psoriasis, uncovering their causes, treatments, and even their potential connections to other health issues. But like with any good deep dive, there are always more layers to explore.
That's right. And we focus a lot on conventional treatments, but there's a growing interest in alternative and complementary therapies for managing these skin conditions.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. So we're venturing beyond moisturizers and medications. What kind of alternative therapies are we talking about here?
Well, there are several approaches gaining traction, and one that often comes up is acupuncture.
Acupuncture for skin conditions. How does that even work?
Well, while the exact mechanisms are still being studied, acupuncture is thought to work by stimulating specific points on the body. And this triggers the release of endorphins and other natural pain-relieving and anti-inflammatory substances.
So it's like hitting a reset button on the body's inflammatory response.
In a way, yeah. Some studies suggest that acupuncture can help reduce the severity and frequency of eczema and psoriasis flare-ups, although, more research is needed to confirm its efficacy.
Interesting. So are there any other alternative therapies that are showing promise for managing these conditions?
Well, mind-body practices like yoga and meditation are gaining popularity.
Yeah.
They're known for their stress-reducing benefits. And as we've discussed, stress can be a major trigger for both eczema and psoriasis.
Right. It's all about managing that mind-body connection, right?
Exactly. By calming the nervous system and reducing those stress hormones, these practices can help create a more favorable internal environment for, healing and managing those skin conditions.
It sounds like a holistic approach is really key here, combining conventional treatments with alternative therapies and and lifestyle modifications.
Absolutely. It's about finding what works best for each individual, as there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, let's talk about a topic that I feel like is often overlooked, but it's incredibly important, and that is the financial burden of managing these chronic skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis.
Yeah, it's a significant issue. The cost of medications, doctor's visits, and specialized skincare products can add up really quickly.
Especially for those without adequate insurance coverage.
Exactly. And beyond, those direct financial costs, there's also indirect costs to consider, like missed work days and reduced productivity due to those flare-ups.
Right. It's a ripple effect that can impact various aspects of a person's life.
Yeah, it's crucial to be aware of these financial challenges and to explore available resources. Many pharmaceutical companies offer patient assistance programs to help with medication costs, and there are organizations that are dedicated to supporting individuals with skin conditions.
Yeah. It's a good reminder to advocate for ourselves and seek out those resources that can make managing these conditions more affordable.
Couldn't agree more.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm struck by how much we've learned about eczema and psoriasis. It's more than just, itchy skin, right? It's about understanding the underlying causes, exploring the various treatment options, and recognizing the impact these conditions can have on our overall well-being.
Absolutely. We've uncovered those complexities of these conditions from, their genetic roots to those environmental triggers that can exacerbate them. We've discussed the power of those conventional treatments, the potential of alternative therapies, and the importance of that holistic approach.
And we've emphasized the need for self-advocacy, seeking professional guidance, and stay informed about those latest research and resources.
Exactly. Managing these chronic skin conditions is a journey, not a destination. There will be those ups and downs, but with the right knowledge and support, you can live a full and vibrant life.
A huge thank you to our expert for guiding us through this fascinating exploration of eczema and psoriasis. Your insights have been invaluable.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you're leaving feeling empowered and equipped to navigate the world of skin health. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Visions Beyond. We love hearing from you, so be sure to leave a comment letting us know what you thought of this deep dive and what topics you'd like us to explore in the future. Until next time, stay curious.